Solomon.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Another interview here on the King Solomon Entertainment platform, the Cultural Scribe, which is our artist platform. We are so elated to have another great, amazing, infamous, world-renowned guest. But before we do that, let's take care of business. If you guys have not subscribed, you guys have not shared this link, you guys want to go into share this link. The links are in the comment section now. Make sure you guys share these links, subscribe, and share. Thank you guys so much for all the outpour of comments, support. We are streaming Roku, Fire Stick, Android. We just growing. We thank you guys so much. If you guys want to support us directly, that's how you do so. We really, really appreciate all the support and all of the love you guys have been giving us. Without further ado, we want to get right into this interview. And we are so excited to have a world-renowned artist, a world-renowned director, musician, and we can't wait to share with you who that is and get detail and the wonderful contributions he has made in gospel music and beyond, especially in young children's lives. Here we go, introducing to our platform for the first time, Walt Whitman Jr. of the Soul Children of Chicago. I hope I did a little justice because you are so much more. And so that's why we are going to have this interview. It's going to have it out as we share briefly. We kind of intersect, go back. So I kind of know a lot of the history, not detail, just how much we loved you and how we watched firsthand the wonderful work you were doing in music, as well as young people's lives and the mentorship and the wonderful contribution in gospel you have made Chicago and all over the world. Not just Chicago, but how the impact those of us are from Chicago loved you so much because we claimed you as our own. So it was personal.
I am. The King Solomon, the king of the Solomon. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for being here. So let's start from the beginning. Like, where did it all start for you as far as you wanted to be in music? Was your music major, the love of music, the passion for music, gospel music? What did it all start for you?
Well, it goes back. Well, my father was in the Air Force, so I'm an Air Force brat. And so I was born in San Antonio, Texas. But we kind of lived all over. But my mom and my dad are from Chicago. And so a lot of my travels is what stirred up my musical interest. Well, I take that back. Being in Chicago stirred up my musical interest, and then it grew. I was at New Covenant Missionary Baptist Church, where now Stephen Thurston is the pastor. But at that time, it was Elijah Thurston. And so I was a young man. I was watching the choir, and I always wanted to be a choir director. So I started out as a little kid practicing in my mama's room.
Amazing. And so what was the formal training? If there was any formal training, was it all by ear? Was it what is the training, if there was any, come from?
Well, because I was in the Air Force, my father was in the Air Force. I was born in San Antonio. And so when he was stationed in San Antonio, it was sort of like my first experience being in a choir, first experience really learning music. Then we went to Alaska, where Anchorage, Alaska was where I kind of developed a lot of my musical abilities. I started my own choir, and I was playing for the church, and I was doing a lot more singing and directing and things like that. And then after we left there, we came to Chicago. And then I think it kind of blew up after, when I started the Soul Children in 81. And then I started taking everything that I've learned from these churches and from my experiences and poured it into the Soul Children. And now we have the Soul Children of Chicago and Soul Children all over, because we have Soul Children movement in Norway, Sweden. There's Soul Children in Germany and Indonesia.
Wow, it's amazing. So the vision definitely has grown bigger than probably what you could imagine 30 plus years ago.
Yeah, we just celebrated 41. We're celebrating 41 this year. We celebrated 40 last year in Grant Park with the Grant Park Symphony Orchestra. Wow. And so that was our launch into the 41 year where we're actually stepping into some different types of things now.
Yeah. And you also known for catapulting a lot of people's careers, especially Kim McFarland, who we were first introduced to her from your platform, your music. And then she go on and do great exploits with the Timies. But just that sound, and I think that kind of set the standard for everybody to follow, because everybody wanted to be a part of the Soul Children as a child. But not only that, it's almost you knew you had to be good. So it wasn't like training ground for like you don't know nothing. It was like,
Well, I mean, you could come in a little bit under. How be some ever? You can't stay under.
right.
So
that was known, but it was clear perfection and precision that you operate in. Just watching what you have done and just seeing you, because last time we be on the same program and just what like we did McDonaldland, I think 2 or 3 times together, and we was on the show, and to watch you guys do what you did on such large stage platform, or just in general, whether it was at a church service or on, when it was I say McDonald's because it seemed like it was larger than life because it was choreographed and it was on TV, you know what I'm saying? But you guys would perform like that at a church service as well, you know what I'm saying? But it just, I just remember in my mind in that theater, I was like, wow, how did he put all this together? It was such a production, even back then for us. But if you would see you guys perform in a church setting, you guys, it was no different. You guys definitely, you brought it too in the church services as well. So, but where did all that come from as far as the workshops, when not just vocals, but you attended to, the physical, when they would make the moves? It was a production. It really was amazing.
Well, a lot of it came from the Gospel Music Workshop of America. I have to give it to Reverend James Cleveland and just watching. There is the Gospel Soul Children of New Orleans.
Wow.
Was one of the choirs that was an inspiration. Just watching them do the choreography. I think we were doing it, but watching them maybe do it more. They were so amazing. And so I think, rest in peace, Albert Hadley. But yeah, the Gospel Soul Children of New Orleans was part of the inspiration. And then, I knew Richard Smallwood, I knew James Cleveland and Walter Hawkins and Edwin Hawkins and all of that group. Very much inspiration,
Wow, that's amazing. And so when you begin to put it all together, I feel like, at what point did you like stop adding to? You never stop adding stuff. It's like in your mind, like who were you trying to be better than once you guys was already like one of the top children's choirs in Chicago and all over the world? Like, why didn't you stop there? Why was it always like you wanted to add more and more to it? It was just amazing to see you do that.
Well, I'm not in competition with anybody. It never was a competition. It's really what God gives to you and to inspire you. In order for you to be able to do what you do, we're talking about 41 years. In order to do that, it's going to have to be a God idea to be able to make sure you can maintain a level. And for me, it was just always a level. It was always excellence. Because of my military, I guess my background, and everything was like, let's move, and that goes into everything I do. I try to go in that level of discipline, that level of excellence. It's just I don't stop until I get what I want.
No, that it was definitely the reputation. They was like, you don't play. Rehearsals was so rigid and like definitely structured to like that he don't play. But like in one of the favorite lines that you say, like go home and come back to try it again. Like go back and come back, then come back and try it again the next rehearsal.
I said, go practice. I said, God don't bless and mess, and He don't sponsor a flop. So get your act together.
And you wasn't playing, and it was just, but it made you better. It made you want to be better, and you iron sharpened iron. All the kids, it was a friendly competition, and everybody wanted to be better, and everybody wanted to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. And it was a family, and it was just beautiful to watch you guys do that and to share, with the world when you guys perform, and how like you just really left an impression on a lot of the younger kids who want like, wow, like this is amazing. We all wanted to be, in that choir, you know what I'm saying? Because it was just one of the things that you did, one of the things that you did. So Amazing. So how did the album, like you from going to this performing, now you are artists, how did the album deal in I think 83 we are one with the first album?
87, 88. And
Okay.
well, we recorded in 87.
Okay.
And it came out in 88. And so
Wow.
We Are One was the first CD or album project, but we had actually recorded before that our
Wow.
own little things. We did one at the Civic Opera House, or we did two. So we did
Wow.
the Sing Children Sing was a tape that we did at the Civic Opera House before we recorded
No.
the This Is the Day project was recorded at the Opera House.
Right. This is
Yeah,
the day. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
We
So
Are
how
One
did the
was the
deal,
first.
how did the first deal, that recording, how did that all come about? Like, how did you know they was ready for that? Like, you guys had an amazing sound, but now as artists, that's like more perfection, right?
Somebody saw us. June Moon, IM Records was
Yeah.
the one that wanted us to.
Mm,
They decided to, hey, we want to try to record you. And I don't
mm,
even know how. I really don't even know how it happened. It just
mm.
seemed like they came and we just said okay. And so we was on IM Records for the We Are One, and then the Live and Blessed, and This Is the Day was the last project we did with IM Records.
Wow.
That was
Wow.
Perfect Praise, which is now a new song. For those that don't know, we have a new project.
Wow. See, we got to talk about that. But let's talk about Perfect Praise, because that was another great song and a great project that the wonderful LaQuisha
Lucretia.
Campbell,
Yes.
she was featured on. And of course, we love LaQuisha. She's Chicago, and we loved her. We loved her sister on the radio. Like it was a bigger, because it was like a piece of you if you were from the city. Like it was like, wow, to see you putting people on and the platform. Now we call it putting on or whatever, but it was just what you did. It was love. It was just natural back then. It wasn't no like it seemed like it's more political now, but you just did that because out of love and how it all came together organically. But that was huge. The song was huge. We love LaQuisha. We love you guys. You guys came together, did that wonderful project. It was known all the way around the world, and people still love it and sing today. Although nobody sings it like LaQuisha.
There
Nobody.
is no one. There is no other Lucretia,
There's no other
because
LaQuisha.
Lucretia was a friend, and we just loved each other, and we were
Yeah,
just always together, and
exactly.
that's really how it happened. It was like Lucretia, actually, she wasn't supposed that we was gonna. I think she was gonna sing another song,
Mm,
and or I was gonna let her take the "Use Me," which is when Jamie sung.
mm.
But I was going to let Lucretia do it because Jamie wasn't acting right at the time. And so,
Go
but
home, try again.
he got his act right together. And so he sings "Use Me," and Lucretia got
It's the truth.
Perfect
It's
Praise.
the truth. Oh my God.
All right, we got some stories. The Soldier got some
Oh,
stories. I need to go ahead and write this book.
no, amazing. It was amazing talent that you have worked with, and you have, have definitely, imparted a wonderful, wonderful impartation of precision and excellence and all that. And I can just go on and say, I had went to uh, um, a play production you guys did. I think you guys did The Lion King. I can't remember the production. Years ago, you guys did The Wiz. That's what you
Right,
did.
we did the Wiz.
I'm thinking about The Lion because the guy he
We
played
did
the
the
lion
Lion
was
King, but we didn't do it as a play. We was a part of it, but no, that the Wiz, that was the production that we did. Yeah.
yes, The Wiz. You guys tore that production play. That it was amazing. Another performance where, as a kid in my mind, I'm like, this is just over the top. This is what you was able to do and how real it seemed and how like you guys just reenacted and just amazing. It was amazing. It was really a great job. And to watch the children play the part and do it, like it was amazing.
Well, yeah, and it was amazing money too. I'm still paying for it. No,
Well, that's why it was made, because the costumes and everything was just so real. Like, wait, somebody Ryan got some money too, It
I'm
wasn't
like,
no crap. It wasn't no crap. It was really nice.
I used to have champagne taste and beer money, and so I was just I don't even call
No,
it beer money. It's probably Kool-Aid money, but it was
no,
just
man.
before it was. I was always doing something way above what I could
See, yeah,
afford, and had
yeah.
to trust God all the way.
No, that's the impression you got. It was definitely larger than life. And back then, it was just like wasn't nobody else doing it like that, And so for you to be a big thinker and we didn't know that because we would have seen it somewhere else and we didn't. And you exposed us to that. It was like, wow, he's doing this at this level. Like, what's next? And so that's always been amazing to see how you definitely have made an impact on a lot of young people's lives and how it's amazing they have turned out and how they sung back then. Like, give us an idea of the workshop, because I know when I came, it seemed like a production even in the rehearsals, because I went to a free rehearsal audition, and so it seemed like it get pretty intense up in there with with everything. So was it like workshop form even in rehearsals with the Soul Children? Like, give us a little bit about how the rehearsals went.
Well, rehearsals were always intense. I mean, because we worked on choreography and vocal. I really worked on a lot of vocal technique with them because I wanted, especially when we started recording, because the choir was a visual choir. Because what you saw was the energy, and you felt the energy when you was on. But it had to. I always wanted to make sure that it translated on record, because when you hear a record, you don't necessarily see anything, you just hear it. And so you got to be able to hear and feel. And so I used to have to really, really drill them on tone and sound and bring the energy that they would bring in a live performance on record, because everybody doesn't record well. So it's like, sometimes you can put groups or people in the studio and, what they do live does not translate in the studio because they have to feed off energy. And so that's why I try to make sure that whatever we did, that our music was, that you could feel it. It was all about when people experience you, what are they experiencing? How do they leave when they leave your presence? And that goes for anybody. They say, I don't remember what you said, but I remember how you made me feel.
Exactly. That was definitely, I can definitely witness that. And so as a member, a choir member, in your choir, I want to get some type of more insight on what's the dynamics of rehearsal and being in the choir. For somebody who have never been in it, like if I want a song, now is it an open audition? If I want to sing a solo song, like how do that work? Or do you know how to identify, potential, or you know how to pull it? I'm sure you know how to do that with everybody, but how do you seek those lead soloists out? Do they come there soloists already?
Well, some, not all. Some some were like if they were young and they had the potential, then I would develop them and help them grow. Like look, Courtney Duncan would be an extra. I mean, he could sing, but he didn't have stage presence when I first got him. So I taught him how to walk, how to interact with an audience, and then he went off and started doing everything. So he's like a little superstar. And then Jamie was the same way. He was a little shy, but he had the voice of what he had Kim McFarland's sound.
Yeah.
So that when McFarland left and he started singing "We Are One," people thought that it was him, but it was actually her on the record. Yes. But he was so talented that he sounded like her when we did it live, and everybody thought it was him. And then when they found out it was Kim, they say, "Oh my God!" So
no, it was me. I love, and not just that. I liked how again it talks to how precise you was in being just someone who was just amazing at what they did. Like you kept the integrity of the song, but he made it his own. It wasn't like because Kim's voice is very unique. I mean, like to hear her for the first time, I don't know what that was like to hear her when she come to rehearsal like this. Her voice is amazing, but when he sang it, you would think that wait, how can he sing? You can't duplicate Kim McFarland, but he sung it with such integrity to where it gave you that impact of what you're talking about, because he did sound amazing on that song. Because Kim, I'm like, it's hard to fill those shoes because I mean Kim has an amazing voice. She was amazing back then. Yeah, amazing for
and
sure.
she's still amazing.
No, her today.
Kim McFarland.
No, shout out to Kim McFarland, but her today, I don't know. She just pushes. I'm like, what are you doing? You're gonna make me hurt myself, and I'm not even singing. I don't know where she get them sounds from, and she's this amazing performer, and you could tell she's been doing it for forever. I mean, she is definitely a top performer. Like she still fight for every note. I mean, it's amazing to see her perform today. Even still,
I agree.
Amazing.
She's on a whole nother level. Between her and her sister, I don't know which one is the.
Yes, amazing. And so so tell me at the international vision. I know you guys had started going to Europe at first. Now it has been international, worldwide. Let's say social are everywhere. What brought that about?
Well, I do workshops a lot in Europe. So it ended up happening as when I went to do a workshop in Sweden, there was a lady that was there that wanted to do what I was doing in Norway. So she ended up starting the Soul Children, the Oslo Soul Children. And then from there, they became the Soul Children. They started getting Soul Children choirs all over Norway. And then they had the International Soul Children Festival in Oslo, where they had at least 2,000 kids singing. And it's like crazy which was like 1,800 to 2,000 kids who were called Soul Children in Oslo, Norway. So white kids singing Soul Children songs in Norway. And then it just grew from there. And we started touring in Europe. We've done Italy. We've been to Italy, Spain, Israel, Nigeria, Netherlands, and God has just kept on expanding us and just expanding our territory in all kind of ways.
Wow. What keep Walt Whitman going? Like, to be doing this for 40 plus years, like you would think like, okay, I'm done. I didn't I then did my last directorial curtains fall. What keep Mr. Walt Whitman going?
Well, the Bible said, I'm a believer in the scriptures, because the Bible talks about drinking water from the well, and that from under the sanctuary comes a refreshing water. And so when people, so the reason I can stay fresh is because I keep drinking from that well that flows from under the sanctuary. And so that's when I get ideas, I get creative ideas, I get new every time I see something new that I want to do. We're working on some new stuff now. We're doing some innovative things now. I can share it with you later, but it's just that keeping it fresh. Always, you don't continue to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. That's why, people want to know, well, why you ain't wearing choir robes? Well, we don't do church like that no more. We're actually more in the corporate arena. Yes. And so because of the corporate arena keeps us, on our toes, expands our territory, enlarge our coast. Now we're heavy in the Jewish community. So now there's a whole Jewish side. We have a Jewish project. People don't even know that. We have a whole project we've sung in Hebrew. That's a CD project called the Soul Shabbat. You can go see that. You can go online and find that too. But it's just, a lot of people don't know the other side of us. And then they don't understand that part of what we do now is we have a prayer line every morning at 6 a.m. And we've been doing it for 14 years, never missed a day, from Monday through Friday, from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. for 1 hour before the kids go to school. Kids get on, they pray before they go to school. We just release them, and we go through scriptures, we go through the songs, we go through all, and we just inspire them and send them on their way. That is the key, more than it is the music. The key is the prayer that we in the morning, where he says, seek me early, you will find me. That's what the word said. And that's what we do.
So what about when I listen to your stuff, the old stuff and today, and I know it's a challenge for you to continue to keep it fresh, like you said, but that sound of yesterday, do you think that was an exception? Do you think that was a time and place in history? Do you ever try to get that sound again, that early sound, that the unduplicated sound? Do you ever try to? Because a lot of great choirs had that sound, or they said a pinnacle at their journey, but it was an early sound or a pinnacle sound. Do you think you ever try to get that sound again, or you understand that just was yesterday and you got to get a new sound?
There's a difference, but the new project, we have a new project called Still Standing. Yes. Still Standing is on all platforms right now. Wow. That is the reunion of the Soul Children from 1981 to now. That's 4 generations that came together, and the sound on that, and in fact, I call it our masterpiece, actually, because we have a whole, and we take you through a journey. There's a medley that we take you through a journey from We Are One all the way up to now. We have We got a second edition that's coming out with the newer songs, but the present group, I mean, the present one is the what I call bringing the. If you're talking about bringing the choir back, the choir sound is on there. And we did Perfect Praise. We did it with Crystal Rucker as a tribute to Lucretia. And when I tell you, and this time, instead of us just doing the song, we actually put orchestra on it. So it's got a symphonic sound. So the whole Perfect Praise has a symphonic sound to it that makes it feel different. Totally, So when you hear it, you know it, but it doesn't feel the same. It feels more symphonic, and it engulfs you with the sound.
Yes. So please tell us about that project. Anything else you're working on? What? And I also want to ask for you. Tell me what you're working on. What you're currently working on. Like most people who have accomplished what you have accomplished in gospel music, working with young people, and the great international work you're doing. Most major universities want to pull you to them. Have you ever thought being a professor and teaching music at the university level? Because I would think they want you at the university because they gonna want to, teach this to as many music professionals and majors as possible.
Well, when I got my doctor's degree, they were trying to get me to do that.
Okay,
they want me to come and teach and teach a music course. I haven't done it yet, but I would say this: that I do realize that maybe what we have, and I'm not going to be jumping around and swinging my arms for the rest of my life. Right. I'm going to be, we're doing more seminars and workshops. I'm working on something. We were last year. The governor gave us our national holiday. So July the 27th is the National Soul Children Day. Wow. And so this year, from last year, that was when we were with the orchestra. This year, we're going to do a conference type event. And we got groups coming from, actually a choir coming from Spain. And there's going to be some other choirs coming. And we're going to try to do like a TED Talk for kids of sorts, a motivational, inspirational, entrepreneurship-ish kind of thing with music and motivation. So it's not like a lot of times we're in music as gospel artists. We ain't got no money. We fabulous with no money. We're peacocks with no feathers. Yeah. And so I'm trying to really get the mindset of our youth. The Bible says, train up a child in the way that he should go. So I said, hey, we're around multimillionaires every single time we perform. Yes. I mean, we're literally walking around. We just did the NBA, the national anthem for the Bulls and the Lakers. Yeah. And so one of the people that I had invited is a young lady who literally is giving out. She wrote a check for $20 million to an organization on the West Side. And so we're around these kind of people who have the ability and the funds and the resources to do the things that we've been trying to do. And so she's very interested in us, and we're getting ready to partner. So those are getting ready to do some things that are different. We're working on a residency now at this museum called the WMDR Museum, which is a interactive futuristic museum. So the residency will cause us to be at the museum every weekend. So people will see and interact, get this whole futuristic thing, and then it's all about the experience. And then they'll have the experience of the soul children. It's in a whole different arena, but it's still what we do. It's who we are. Amazing. And so we don't have to be in the four walls of the church to be effective.
Yeah. And the energy of all the children that come back, like what's that like to have a reunion and open oh man, I know what that look meant, but I want you to explain it. Put the old kids that's with the younger kids, and what is it? Good energy? Is it
absolutely? No, absolutely. Because what it is that the generations have connected. So there is no. If you pull the soul children, like if I just pull them at any point in time, I can pull out a song. They can sing it like they've been. Even if they ain't sang in years, it'll be like they've never stopped rehearsing. I can pull out "It Is Well," "Perfect Praise," "God Is," whatever, depending on whatever all generations sang. And at any point in time, they can just fall right on in without a rehearsal. It just because of the connection that they take when they are learning as a child. The Bible says, "Train up a child in the way that he should go, so when he's old, he won't depart." And that's what I'm experiencing now, is like when they come together, it's something about the generations. That's where I think the Still Standing Project is so powerful, because it's the generation now, but the generations past. A lot of times when you have reunions, you have just a group of people that want to get back together again. But there's still a present group, the soul children present.
Absolutely.
And they feed from the soul children past. We got doctors and lawyers and teachers and preachers and pastors and entrepreneurs. We got folks that are working in all kind of areas of government or whatever. And so they can pour into each other, and it's almost like a sorority or a fraternity.
And then you got the beautiful red coats, the beautiful jackets now, the corporate jacket. It looks pretty spiffy. It looks sharp now. That's the new stuff now.
We wear the blazers every day. I do the blazers when we need to. It just kind of depends on what we're doing. Right now, I'm working on a restructuring of the Soul Children. We're getting ready to actually have auditions. So I don't know who all's listening. Auditions.
And I know people who have let their kids come. The kids have came and joined. Like they used to be in it, then their children have came to join. You know,
we do.
We
do got a lot of those generations. And that's the only thing that makes me feel old. Like, don't be sending your children. My mama was in here, my grandmama was in here, and I said, "That devil, that's the devil right there." Never tried to tell me, well, my mama was in here, my grandmama was in here, and my great granny was in here.
That's that water, that's that living water you drinking from. See, they old, but you not. They old, but you not.
Look, it's called Just for Men and Olive Olay. Praise God. You know what?
Amazing. Thank you so much. Like I say, this has been 360 for me. Like I say, too, it's so nostalgic, you know, being from Chicago, and part of my childhood that witnessed what the wonderful work that you have done, and the impartation, and seeing you do excellent work from the beginning to now, still doing amazing. It's really been a joy to see and to watch, and have that connection and interaction with you, and just to, you know, every time you always just next level every time. And it's just amazing to watch you do what you love to do and be good, so good at it. You know, amazing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So please tell us everything you got going on, so they can connect with you, they can plug in, they can support. Let our audience know.
Well, I mean, you can go right now to www.joinscc.com. And you can look at our new website, our page. We are definitely in audition mode, getting ready to have auditions April the 15th. We're going to the south suburbs first, and then we're going to be coming to the city. So if you want to call us, you can call us at 773-881-8120, or just go to the website and fill it out. 7 to 17. In fact, probably 7 to 16, because, you know, if you're 17, you're too old, because you ain't gonna be in there long. Go from 7 to 16, and you can stay to 17. No, but we're definitely looking for some talented young people that want to get the experience. We're actually embarking upon some filming. We're getting ready to film, which is one of the things I'm looking for, some real talented kids, because we're actually filming, sort of like what the Children of Fire, where you make it, the making, I would say maybe the making of the Soul Children. And we're going to be filming a child that comes in, maybe scared, don't look, you know, unsure, but has talent, and to watch them develop and put that on. And we're going to actually have a show. We're creating a TV series, a reality show series.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I can't wait for it. We're going to definitely go connect and partner with you, support whatever you do. You friend to this platform. Like I say, Chicago, like I said, home team. I always, you know, support my fellow Chicagoans, and just that's how it's how I've always been. You always been connected and always been in love and organic. That's how we do it in Chicago. So that's how it is. And I cannot thank you enough for, you know, just coming right. And I asked you, just came right on. That's amazing. So it's like, I'm like, wow, you know, so I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for doing the platform, y'all. Dr. Walt Whitman and the Soul Children of Chicago. King Solomon co-described. Thank you so much.
Don't forget we're recording. I mean, the CD project going all platforms, still standing. Walt Whitman, Dr. Walt Whitman, and the Soul Children of Chicago, still standing. Go get it, download.
Absolutely. And you gotta come back too. You have to come back. You have to come back. All right.
Amen.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. There you have it. Dr. Walter Whitman and the Social of Chicago here on the Culture Scribe platform, King Simon Entertainment. We appreciate him. Make sure you guys share this video. Share this video. The links are in the comments. Make sure you guys subscribe, share the links, support us directly here with the Cash App donations. Everything goes to the platform, growing the platform on streaming, Roku, Android, Apple. Thank you guys so much for your support. Until next time, guys, this is King Simon Entertainment here on the Culture Scribe platform.